right, man, let's wrap it up. Our AGM conclusion dialogue, probably one of the most controversial that we've done yet. How do y'all feel about non-blacks saying nigga? And this is off the back of the backlash that Fat Joe got because obviously we're in a different time now, and he says nigga so emphatically and comfortably. So how do y'all feel, particularly, with the Latinos mainly, because it seems like they say it more than black people these days.
And the Asians.
So how do y'all feel about non-black saying nigga?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Dorian.
I'm not mad at, like, the Puerto Ricans because I view them as like black.
Sure.
African ancestry.
Yeah, sure.
Which Fat Joe is. So do you have a problem with him saying that?
I have no problem.
I have no problem with him saying it personally either. I mean, it's been so long.
In fact, I feel
like it's too long to even be trying to nip it in the bud when he's been part of the community. He's been invited to the cookout for
30
over a decade, over 2 decades to score some more shit. Like, this nigga been in the loop, so it's like we need to worry about other shit as opposed to this nigga saying nigga because he earned it in some aspects.
So you think that's possible?
I feel like
for somebody to earn an N-word
they
card.
Flowers, sure. I mean, to me, sure. But granted, I'm also referring to Fat Joe, who is 30 years prior was in the game and it was heavy to where it was okay. These are different circumstances. Now, if he came out
I don't think
today,
it was okay. I think because he is
like
Puerto Rican, that's why people let him slide.
Like Puerto Rican.
And that's
if Eminem was on tracks trying to say nigga, that wouldn't have went too well.
Eminem is great, but Eminem proved that he was great without saying nigga, and I feel like that's what makes him even greater because he never, despite being accepted by the black community, he never felt the need to go out of his way to say nigga in this.
No, I feel like he couldn't if he wanted to.
But even
to
if
be honest, that's
if
probably
why he
didn't.
I feel like he might have had some wiggle room.
I feel like the Puerto Ricans get the wiggle room. That's why Snitch 9 does it so much because it's like, even though like I don't know, we can go to a whole nother debate about Puerto Ricans of who's black and who's not or whatever. Because some of them, even if they do have it down the line somewhere, they don't identify as black like at all. They like are all Latino pride and they still say the spit like it's no tomorrow. So that could be argued in itself. But I feel like because they feel like, oh, we're minorities, we can say it too. But here's the thing though, a lot of them get like, I remember when LeBron James was doing this Taco Tuesday thing, he was like, gay, and they were like, no, it was alright, bro. It wasn't never that funny.
Okay.
but
the way you tried to slide through it, like, okay.
They was upset about him doing that. But y'all won't stop saying nigga when certain black people have an issue with you saying nigga.
Okay.
And I've been seeing that since I was in elementary, to be honest.
And I like, in super side note, giving somebody props for something that they should naturally be doing. And I know it's not right. However, I'm going to do it. I like Jack Harlow. I fucks with him a lot. I like his lyricism. I like his flow, his cadence. I've yet to hear him say nigga.
He can't.
And I understand that. But let's go back to free will here. White people still say that they can when they want to, if they feel the need to.
But do they do it?
But whether or not they do it, when they do it, they try to justify it. So I'm saying that this man, having the outlet, having technically the black enough card, he has the street cred to be able to have it pass in some circles, even if not ours. In some circles, he can have it pass because of how he carries himself and how he raps and his cadence. To me,
that's what I tell.
But that's to people,
non-blacks all the time. Anyway,
right.
Though, how I feel about it. My answer to them is, if they could say nigga, I tell them the same thing. If you could say it around a group of black people without getting punched in the mouth, then be my guest.
Right.
You can say whatever the hell you want to say. Obviously, I don't ever want to hear ER. But
right.
If you can say nigga around the right black people and nothing happens to you, then more power to you.
I have never, I can't say never, but it is very rare, and I for sure can't even recall enough times to count on my fingers to where I've heard a black person say nigga in my face to where I felt uncomfortable or felt the need to correct that. And granted, I'm a little more lenient with different things. However, It's never come up in front of me. And I find that really unfortunate for my experience in my lifetime is that I haven't dealt with racism per se. I mean, if anything, I've dealt with microaggressions that I've probably written off as just like a bad day for a person because I'm that person.
Right.
So it's like, ultimately, I've never truly been targeted or affected by race.
You don't get into enough social media wars. That's why.
That too, but also when it comes to being out and about, it's like maybe it has to do with pretty privilege or whatever. And I'm not saying I'm all that, and I'm the baddest bitch around. Don't get me wrong, but I know I'm decent. I'm good looking, and I know that in some circles that I think sometimes it's overlooked that I'm black, to where I don't get punished. I have the anxiety of a black person, but I don't get the reprimanding of a black person all the time. I've been let off for tickets. I've been given warnings and stuff. When typically I'd be scared that I'm about to be ripped out of my car and potentially taken to jail or killed. Right. So it's like different things like that. Whereas, granted, I tried to keep myself out of certain situations. I've been pulled over like maybe twice or 3 times. One of those times I was sober. 2 other of those times I was able to finesse my way through it to where it made sense and I wasn't that drunk. So when it comes down to it, it's still scary. I still think about the fact that regardless of how I look, I'm a black person with dark skin. So I could be killed at any moment when it comes to one of these traffic stops. I try not to be pulled over. But I think that makes a difference when it comes to certain things. To me, in my world, granted, I'm into biracial people. So it's like I have to have that wiggle room at some extent when it comes to saying nigga if I'm dealing with somebody that's half white and half black.
So here's a personalization.
Go ahead.
Is there a difference between, or I'll just ask you this, is any non-black saying nigga in front of you, do you address it? Does it matter? Does like context matter? Does it matter how much blackness they have in them? Like how do you approach that personally for yourself when you hear that? Or do you just ignore it and just go about your day?
I feel like personally, 9 times out of 10, I'm about context. And typically context, one thing about, I lived in Humboldt for 3 years. I had not even 5 times where people accidentally slipped up and said nigga in front of me. So it's like, I have very little experience with that. But the experience
So you never been around like a bunch of Hispanics that said nigga constantly?
I mean, yeah, but for me, it's like, I guess for a while I had that wiggle room for them where it's like, colored, we're colored. So minority. It's cool. Okay. Right, minority. So it's like, but ultimately, no, I have better things to worry about. So no, if somebody of Mexican descent says nigga around me, it'll be a little different if somebody of white descent, and it depends on the type of white. It depends on their upbringing.
The type of white.
It does.
What's the different whites?
That sounds crazy to you. I get it. But like for me, I've dealt with various white people because there's always the demographic of Karens and people who are worried about all the wrong shit or too hypervigilant about shit that other people aren't worried about or are worried about or vice versa, whatever. But like I've dealt with like stoner hippie white, and that's different, and it's nicer, and it's better, and it's like
and it's high.
And it's high. I mean, but outside of that, it's open minded. It's cool. It's chill. That's what it is. It's like if you want to take the most negative or talked about stereotype of weed and put it in white people in Humboldt, which is the calmness, the chillness, the zenness, the stoner aspect. That's one of the highlights. Like I've had people and I've met people and I have friends who have dealt with racist people in Humboldt. I lived out there for 3 years and had little to no racist experience, at least none that I picked up on. And it's very likely that I've had microaggressions done toward me, but I'm so mean that I didn't pick up on it because I didn't think that it was racist. I just chalked it up to human, whatever. I don't know. I don't think I'd personally be targeted when I've had friends who have been potentially run over for racism. Right. So it's like it's a difference for sure. I haven't been as exposed to it, but I'm not as.
So did you ever go to school in LA at any point?
I went to Christian school though. Like it was mostly black, but it was still a Christian school through kindergarten through black. 6th grade. Okay. It was mostly black in Gardena. Like I was going to school in Normandy and couldn't even tell you the other street, but it was on Normandy and it was in LA for sure. And it's like mostly black people, but
see, every school I went to, it was only like a handful of black people and the rest Hispanic. So totally different experience.
And see, it wasn't like, oh, Hispanics were the main people. Like, no, black people were the main people. And I went to that school up until like third grade or most of third grade, and I mainly dealt with black people being problematic or otherwise. Excuse me, but like just black people in general. And so white people was my experience 4th through 8th grade being in Christian school out here, where it's like, oh, it's a different type of, it's different. It's definitely different. And it's not the same. They have different programs. They have different outlets, sure.
Right.
But they also have different groups of people. And granted, it's not like I was just the average black kid that fit in with everybody, but I didn't stick out either. So it's like, being in a white school, a white Christian school, it's like, yeah, I don't quite stick out, but I don't blend in either. And it's like, I don't know. I'm not one of the black kids that's here because they couldn't do public school. I'm one of the black kids that's never done public school.
Right.
And I'm hella sheltered and I'm chilling, but I'm just not doing my work. And I'm not, like, I'm just smart and don't want to do remedial ass shit, which isn't that, but it just seemed like that. Like, I don't know. I just didn't want to copy Bible verses and memorize the shit. Like, I don't know. It was different. And then I went to OFL, and I've never been to public school. Just like that.
Okay.
Never been to public school.
Avenue.
The only public school I've been to was OFL, which was public charter school, which is homeschool. So it's like, that's my experience with, public school, which is a lot different.
So, same question. If a white or Hispanic, non-black says nigga in front of you, what's your response?
White people can't say nigga in front of me at all whatsoever. Hispanic, because that's
very
like
selective there, sir. White people
at all. Hispanics, they have.
So you're saying something to the white person?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm addressing it. Calling them out straight up.
Okay.
Hispanics, it kind of depends. It depends on the context of it, because like, if you grew up around a bunch of niggas and you say nigga, like, I get it.
What if they didn't? What if they grew up around a bunch of Hispanics and they just
I get
nigga?
No, I get that too.
Not just as much as us, but more than us.
Because they've adopted that word in their culture like a mug, and it's like when I was in jail, they would say nigga, and I'm not about to fight them over that.
Right. So you got a bunch of others you have to fight about anyway. Might as well.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. Just like, just don't, like, as long as you're using it,
as a term of endearment.
Yeah, just as long as you're using it like in a colloquial way, you're not trying to disrespect me with it, then we're good on that tip.
But how do you decipher that? Because
anybody
you about to get into it with is, that's probably gonna be a part of the verse.
Well,
what's up, nigga? So if a Hispanic come at you like, what's up, nigga? It's like, it's hard to decipher. Okay, so is you calling me a nigga, or is you, are you gonna be thinking about that?
I'm gonna call them out on it. I'm like, what you talking about? Like, who you calling a nigga? And if like,
but that could just be how they talk still in that.
You gonna have
context,
to answer for it. I'm like, is that a nigga like at me? Like, I'm like,
you're gonna take it more so than if it was a black person.
I'm gonna call him out on it just to see how he responds to it, and if he don't like, oh, not like that. He keep on.
He's not gonna say that if y'all already in that space. He's gonna say, man,
what's up?
And
if we out there, then we already about to fight. So it's like, fuck it, say what you want. Shit, say what you want. We gonna fight now.
So it sounds like you give Hispanics a pass.
Yeah.
As long as it ain't with the hard R or ER or whatever. You give everybody a pass as long as it ain't used as disrespect to you.
Within reason. I mean, I'm circumstantial as I am with most everything I'm doing.
And I'm saying that.
Like,
I'm saying that.
White people are a little different. Like, if you just trying to sing along to a song, you don't have to. Like, it's okay.
One of my
hold up. I got a story for y'all.
Okay.
I got a story for y'all. The funniest vision, and I wish I had it on camera. I was working at American Idol, and I remember Bodak Yellow was cracking at Bodak Yellow was like Bodak Yellow at this time. Nothing but white people all in the crowd, in the audience. Nothing but white people. A bunch of teenage white boys and white girls, right? And the part came up where she was like, and I'm quick to cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Right. So I was like looking like, I want to see how they gonna respond to this. I know y'all do. So I just wanted to see, and it's like, is nobody really here to hold y'all accountable if y'all repeat that part, even if it's muted on the song, you gonna continue
Right,
singing
you gonna
along.
say it 'cause you know it's
So
about
I
the
was
word.
looking, and I promise you, when that part came, it was like, and I'm quick to cut up. So don't get man. When I tell you, I was on the floor. Like it was like because they was so respectful. I felt bad in a way because it's like, but at the same time, I was like, I know y'all say that shit when y'all in y'all bedroom or in y'all cars together or whatever. But y'all gonna stop on that part because you in a public atmosphere. But yeah, I just wanted to share that real quick because that shit was hilarious.
No, and that's real. Like I said, I don't be in a lot of situations to where people have the chance for me to be in that situation to where I can nip it in the bud and be like, you may not need to say that. Like, I don't even be around people like that.
See, I had a weird up and down dynamic. I remember I mean, and I say it now, obviously, but you know, as a kid, you know, when my mom was trying to install you know, certain values into me, that was one of the rules. Don't say the N word. Don't say nigga. And I followed that. Not only did I follow that, but because she had me such into Black history and stuff like that at the time, and you know, my ancestors and stuff we went through and where the word comes from and everything. And this is before I was really into the culture fully. Y'all ain't gonna believe me, but I had a point in time where I was fighting Black people that said it to me. Just because like I was just so defensive of the word, let alone somebody that's not Black saying it. I had so many fights in elementary over that word. It's not even funny. It was part of the reason why I kind of like got immune to it and just kind of had to like let it go in a sense. So I started off with letting Black people get away with it. It had to start there. And then obviously as I'm learning hip hop and our comedic culture and stuff like that, I'm learning like, okay, this is like something that's normalized for whatever reason. Okay, so whatever. And then you know, growing up with all the Hispanics that I did, it was like, you know, at first I was still fighting them, and then it got like I was fighting so much. It's like, bro, like clearly this is something that's like they've normalized to say this with so damn much. So it's like I got to a point where I was like, well, as long as you ain't disrespecting me, it is what it is. And then I was like him for a minute, where it's like, well, white people, I don't care what context, under no circumstances, you can't ever say it around me. Yeah. And now it's like it's at a point to where it's like, if you're not Black, I cringe at you saying it, period. But it's not, like, I'm with you on this. It's not worth me. It's about us. It's not worth it to me at this point. You feel me? It's like,
because I can't
like
stop
I said, as long as you ain't disrespecting
what you do on your own time is your personal business.
Right.
What I can control and what you trigger me by is what I can speak on. However, you know, I would hope situational awareness, and by situational awareness,
that's why I said,
will show
if you can say it without getting punched in the mouth,
but in your car by yourself is the move. I can't knock you for being human, because to each his own. You try to jam to a song.
What
period.
if a white person says nigger, but they don't think anybody else is around? They just like talking to themselves and like.
Too bad.
I mean,
you shouldn't be you shouldn't be saying even in private.
Just showing your bias.
And then when they see them,
I get mad. No, I'm gonna tell you what be pissing me off. Like when these news reporters be trying to be funny, when they like repeating a Tupac lyric or something, and when the nigga part, oh yeah, he has a song called "I'd Rather Be Your Nigger." That ain't what the damn song say. It's like you just wanted an excuse to be able to say it and be like, oh, well, that's what he said. That's not what he said. Y'all know damn well there's a difference between nigga and nigger. But anytime, like, and y'all probably see it, anytime you see them talk about some type of hip-hop song or anything, any type of fashion or a Black person saying nigga, they gon' add to it and say it with the ER just because it's like, oh, this is my moment to shine.
Right.
That's what I don't agree with. And that's that shit that's like, well, you're a piece of shit for trying to, you know, either exploit a term that you know is triggering, right, or just being blissfully ignorant and something that has been squashed in the form of ignorance. Like, we know why this is wrong. There's no reason for you to be ignorant towards it. Right. So just do your best, or just don't do it at all as, you know, a considerate human being. Just don't interact in something that you don't even know how to navigate around. If you don't know how to navigate around an ER and an A, then you ain't meant to be saying it in general, period. Because clearly you don't understand grammar rules. You don't understand how things work in diction and linguistics, and that's cool.
But that's the thing. I think it's intentional, though.
And that's
I think
fair.
they do that intentionally. Even when they would announce NWA back in the day, look at the old reporters, they'd be like, yeah, niggers with attitude. Like, that's not their name, and you know it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what it's done intentionally, and it's cringeworthy.
It's almost as if they have blunders where it's like, yeah, it never has an A at the end. It's always ERS.
Right.
Or it's always ER. It's always a thug. It's never a black boy. It's always looked at as thug and retranslated as thug and vice versa. I don't know. It's just, it very much shows the history of America and who has the upper hand in conditioning.
What kind of MacBook is this?
I think the Pro.
What year is it? 'Cause I'm about to cop one.
Nigga, I don't know. I got this in 2017. I wanted to show y'all this video to end this topic out. I hope I find it. I just want to show y'all this to close it out because this bit was hilarious to me, but I think it was perfectly put of how white people be feeling when it comes to the word.
Is racism just a one-way street?
I think that's his opinion.
Look at your firm, Adrian. You get the benefit of no bid contracts because you're an African-American firm. Now, as a white lawyer, what am I supposed to think of that?
I don't know.
I think Chuck is pointing out a double standard here, Adrian. I mean, take hip-hop. We've talked about this on the show before. You have African-American rappers saying N-word this and N-word that, but a Caucasian can't.
So say it.
Say what?
Say the word you want to say.
I'm not saying that I want to say it. I'm just saying that I can't.
Sure you can. Say it right now. I will say it with you.
Okay, this is hypocritical. You know we can't.
Sure you can. This is America. Both of you. Say it.
All right, I think we can move on.
What? Why move on when you want to say it? Both of you want to say it. Huh?
Man,
All together, everybody. Like, yeah, period. Let's just all say it.
That's what came to mind for me. That's how they all really feel. Like, why can't we say it? But it's like they try to victimize themselves. Right.
Even
like,
though we already say it on our own
time.
time. Like, why can't we say it in front of you? But we say it on our own. But you guys make it clear we can't say it at all. But we really say it on our own in secret. Like,
right.
It's just a matter of
you know
what we're allowed to do.
And they probably say it more times than it's on the song.
Right.
Or in that part, they like say it harder.
If I was white, I would scream that shit.
Nah, for real, I feel him on it.
I'm doing extra ad-libs for sure. Like,
like while I'm playing it in the car, I yell that shit, running back like,
nigga.
Damn,
y'all niggas can't answer my nigga. All right, yeah, we'll close it out there, being ignorant. But yeah, episode 12 in the books, man. Love y'all. Thank y'all for continuing to support. Instagram is the AGM Podcast. Facebook handle AGM Podcast. Email allgrindmedia21@gmail.com. As always, I'm gonna have all of our Instagrams at the bottom or top, whatever works for me at the time. But y'all can hit any of us up. Let us know what y'all think of the show. Let us know if there's anything y'all want us to talk about.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate all the feedback. I was just talking to Dorian about some backlash he got, so keep it coming. You know what I'm saying? If any of us is talking like bozos, let us know. We welcome all of it.
I'm gonna double down on mine.
And I don't often have the usual perspective, so if you got something to say against it, talk to me.
I'm gonna double down, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
won't change, but
Lil'
I'm
Kim
just
don't
saying,
got a
like,
verse
we can
better
talk
than
about
I
it.
must the verse.
We can talk about it. I mean,
All right, bro. You on your own.
Right. He got his own battle.
All right, Barb. All right, man.
Technically, I'm a Ken, right?
See y'all later, man. Peace out.
Peace out.
Thank y'all for tuning in
Have a
again,
good
man.
one.
Love y'all.